Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on Clare with me, Seamus, Brady, your host. And in this video, we are going to give a full match preview and prediction to the All-Ireland hurling semi-final between Kilkenny and Clare. It's the second year in a row that these two teams are facing off in the All-Ireland semi-final, and of course we have the same four teams at this stage once again. Limerick and Galway are on the other side. I've done a full preview on that. Make sure you check that out if you haven't. This video will talk about the other semi-finals. Sunday at 4 o'clock, Kilkenny versus Clare in Croke Park. What a game this is going to be. Now, of course, last year it wasn't. Kilkenny mopped the floor with Clare in a performance which nobody saw that coming, really. I mean, in a way, it wasn't that surprising. It was Brian Cody's Kilkenny up to their old tricks again, but nobody saw Clare not turning up like that. And that's what I'm going to dive into first of all here. What happened last year? Was it just an off day? Did they run out of steam? Did Kilkenny just have them figured out? Was it all those things? Because Clare had gone from looking so good in the Munster final against Limerick, where they pushed them all the way, to then looking terrible in this game against Kilkenny. And they'd beaten Wexford in the meantime, a side that had beaten Kilkenny. So how Clare looked so bad and out of their depth against Kilkenny was baffling. Even like the likes of Tony Kelly didn't have his best game. David Fitzgerald didn't have his best game. It was weird seeing them all so off colour. What can they do differently this time? Well, to go into this time, obviously the massive difference this year is it's not Brian Cody's Kilkenny anymore. It's Derek Ling's Kilkenny. It's his first year in the job, and it couldn't have gone much better so far. A decent league, Leinster champions, and like they've looked pretty good. They've unearthed new talent. The likes of Billy Drennan is the main one that I'm looking at thinking he's absolutely fantastic. However, their injuries. Adrian Mullen, we're unsure how fit he is. Martin Keoghan as well. He's facing a race to be fit. And Michael Carey's gone. Carey hasn't really played at all this season, so probably doesn't make too much of a difference. But he definitely would improve the team if he was back in. Now, on the good side, the form of Owen Cody this year has been electric. Billy Drennan as well has been electric. Walter Walsh's form is another one that I want to highlight. He looked fantastic when he was on against Galway in that Leinster final. And he's the type of player that can make such a difference to whatever game he's in. Because you look at it, Walter Walsh, when he came on against Limerick in the All-Ireland hurling semi-final of 2019, changed the game when he came on. And his form against Galway in the Leinster final was magnificent. So it's a question of, do you start Walter Walsh or do you use him as an impact sub? In my opinion, I think Derek Ling will probably use him as an impact sub, probably spring him from the bench in about the 50th minute and start throwing high ball over to him and letting him run at the Clare defence as they tire out, which brings me on to Clare. Clare's injuries at the back could be potentially devastating. You've already got Conor Cleary, who missed the Dublin game, does face a race to be fully fit. Even if he plays, is he 100%? My opinion, no. David McInerney didn't play as well against Dublin. Is he fit? Will he come back? If he does, is he 100%? And then on top of that, John Conlon got an awful knock against Dublin, where Danny Sutcliffe ran into him full force and John Conlon was running the other way. He looked like a huge hit. Is John Conlon fully fit? He had to go off injured against Kilkenny. So those are the crucial things. And then on top of that, going forward, Shane O'Donnell went off against Dublin. Is he fully fit? And Aidan McCarthy as well got a concussion. Is he fully fit? Like, there's crucial players there for Clare that I've listed off between Conor Cleary, John Conlon, David McInerney, Shane O'Donnell, and Aidan McCarthy. Those are five genuinely world-class hurlers. They cannot be losing players like that and expect to get over the line against a Kilkenny team that they didn't get over the line against last year. Now, the differences this year is that they had a far easier run of it in the quarterfinal. Like last year in the quarterfinal, Wexford pushed them all the way and Clare had to really dig deep. Now, Dublin rolled over for them in the second half and Clare basically had their way. But it's the type of thing that could that actually be important for Clare, that they didn't have another grueling to the wire game and that they maybe had a little bit of a rest. Not in terms of, but they weren't pushed to the absolute max by Wexford like they were in the quarterfinal last year. They weren't pushed to the max by Dublin this time. So does that help them going into this game? Or did they need a challenge to get back onto the horse? Who knows? Because when you look at how Tony Kelly skipped through for his hat-trick goal, it was so easy. That won't happen against Kilkenny. Make no mistake about it. That won't happen against Kilkenny. look, the Munster final as well this year, I thought that Clare didn't play as well as they did last year. I think if Clare had played as well as they did last year, I think there's an argument there that they would have won. It's hard to tell. It is hard to tell, but I do think that I was more impressed by Clare in last year's Munster final than I was in this year's Munster final. Verdict time. Prediction time. It's so hard to call because you look at last year and how Kilkenny just mopped the floor with Clare, and it just wasn't even a competition. And you're thinking in your head, well, surely that means Kilkenny will beat them again. But time and time again, throughout the GAA's history, we've seen a team completely dismantle a team, and then 1 or 2 years later, completely changes. You look for examples on the football side. Dublin beat Kerry in the 2011 football final. 2009, Kerry tore Dublin apart in the quarterfinals. Things can change very, very quickly. And it is one of those things that you look at and you say, maybe, just maybe, Clare have turned a corner this year. Maybe, just maybe, Clare can beat Kilkenny this year. And there is a part of me that just feels like with the narrative and the story of Limerick and the rivalry they have with Clare, I think it would be quite special to see an All-Ireland hurling final of Limerick and Clare. The rivalry between the two of them. So my prediction for this game, it is so hard to call because I can't see what happened last year happening again. Like it could. These teams do have the ability to steamroll each other. So my official prediction then, it's so hard to call. I think either of these teams have the ability to run up huge scores. But in my opinion, I just have a sneaky feeling. I'm not even necessarily basing this off too much. It's so hard to call, but I'm going to go like, okay, official prediction time. I have rambled. But my official prediction for this game, Sunday, 4 o'clock, Kilkenny versus Clare in Croke Park, my official prediction, I am going to go with Clare to narrowly get the victory. And it's so hard to call. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kilkenny got the victory because you look at what happened last year. Kilkenny looked untouchable against Clare. But I just think Clare potentially didn't see that performance coming from Kilkenny and were caught on the hop. This time I think they're going to be a lot more focused. I think they're going to be a lot more ready for the game. And I am just going to go for them to narrowly win. There's just a part of me that just has a feeling that with the rivalry between Limerick and Clare, how awesome would it be to see the two of them square off in an All-Ireland hurling final? I would not be surprised if either of them came out on top though. And I would also be absolutely buzzing to see another All-Ireland hurling final between Kilkenny and Limerick when you look at the quality of last year's final. That's if Galway don't upset them, but I have picked Limerick to beat Galway in the other semi-final. But let me know who you think is going to win these games. Will it be Kilkenny? Will it be Clare? Will it be Limerick? Will it be Galway? Put it in the comments below. And until the next one, guys, here on Cluiche, take care.